Hello, I'm Michael Heath for the Courtless Divorce. I'm not an attorney, I don't dispense legal advice. However, I am passionate about the alternatives to divorce litigation. Today, I'm here to speak about collaborative divorce. Collaborative divorce is a specialized area of the legal profession based on collaborative law. It is similar to courtless mediation in that both spouses negotiate the end of their marriage prior to ever filing any paperwork with the court. Just like mediation, collaborative divorce is based on a solutions-based approach where both sides are hearing each other out and listening to the interests and concerns and desires of each side and brainstorming to come up with solutions that both sides will be satisfied with. The collaborative attorneys actually goes through a specialized training whereby they end up understanding and are committed to the whole approach, which is really a win-win approach where both sides are actually going to be satisfied with the results. This is in contrast to litigation, where litigation is more of a win-lose approach, where each side is trying to build a case against the other side and trying to, in a sense, beat the other side. But in mediation and collaborative divorce, both sides are actually working to come to a result or come to multiple results that they'll be satisfied with. Now, the reason that many people will choose collaborative divorce over, let's say, litigation is because they're going to be in control of their own divorce and it's going to be much less expensive. While a lot of people will choose collaborative divorce, let's say, over mediation, is because although the collaborative attorneys do not, let's say, negotiate on behalf of their clients, they're there in a supportive role. And they can give, let's say, real-time legal advice and guidance. And so there might be some people out there who like the idea of negotiating their own divorce, but they do like the fact that having somebody sit next to them and, in a sense, like I said, give support towards the whole process. Another important hallmark of the collaborative divorce process is the participation agreement. And what a participation agreement is, it's an agreement that all four parties are going to sign. And what they're agreeing to is that if, let's say, the sessions fall apart, that the collaborative attorneys will then remove themselves from representing their client. And the reason for this is that the legal profession wants to see the collaborative attorneys really see the whole process through to the end and really see it succeed. What the legal profession is, let's say, a bit afraid of or maybe cautious of is they don't want to have it where attorneys are in the sessions thinking, well, you know, if this process doesn't work out, then we'll just litigate the case. Because a lot of attorneys would rather litigate the case. They can make a lot more money when they're litigating the case. So so the participation agreement actually is an incentive for the attorneys to see the whole process succeed. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, you know, if I'm going to be hiring attorneys anyway, why don't I just litigate the case? Well, and I guess in a sense you could litigate the case, but the collaborative divorce process should be much less expensive. See, in litigation, what litigators will do, or family attorneys are going to do in a litigated case, is they're going to try to build a case against the other side, and that whole building of the case can be very expensive. It's what they call the formal discovery process, and it's going through getting a lot of paperwork. There could be subpoenas, there could be depositions, and all that stuff can really cost a lot of money. But collaborative divorce is in a way very similar to mediation, where the discovery process is very informal. The husband and wife are actually, instead of trying to build cases against each other, they're actually cooperating and getting all the information together and using that information to work through the issues and come to solutions that they're going to be both satisfied with. So collaborative divorce should end up being a lot less expensive than litigated divorce. It probably will be more expensive than a mediated divorce, because in mediation, you have one mediator and instead of two attorneys sitting through the sessions. Now, often it does happen that when somebody is going through mediation, they may have an attorney as a consultant. But like when you're mediating your case, if you have to get some legal advice, of course you have to wait until the session is over, and then you call your attorney and ask them questions. But in collaborative divorce, both attorneys are right there, and so you can get the legal advice right at that very moment. So that's a big advantage. Another advantage of collaborative divorce is the fact that you have two attorneys, so that at the end of the sessions, one of the attorneys, or both working together, can draw up a divorce agreement. And that divorce agreement can then be filed with the court. Now, this could also be true with mediated sessions, where if the mediator is an attorney, mediator who's an attorney could draw up a divorce agreement. But if they're not an attorney, then they'll probably draw up what is called a memorandum of understanding, and then the spouses would then hand this into an attorney who would then draw up a divorce agreement. So just giving you an idea of what the costs are and where the savings would be. It's important that you understand that the collaborative attorneys are there in a supporting role and there to provide guidance and to provide legal advice. They are not there to negotiate the divorce. That is not their role. It is really up to the two spouses to negotiate the end of their marriage and to go through each issue one by one and come to some sort of solution that they both are going to be happy with and satisfied with. So what I want to do is I want to go over the advantages of collaborative divorce. I would say that one of the big advantages would be the fact that it's less expensive than litigation. You're still hiring two attorneys, but you're not going through that whole very expensive discovery process. So it should be and would be much less expensive than litigation. Another advantage that's similar to mediation is that it can be a much more expedient process. You can go in there and go through the sessions and bring the marriage to an end, where in litigation can be a long drawn out process, because each attorney is trying to build a case against the other side, and so the discovery process can be lengthy and expensive and take a lot of time. And you're also, if you end up going to court, you're also beholden to the court schedule, where in collaborative divorce you're not going to court, so you don't have to worry about that. So you can actually get to bring the marriage to an end in less time. Advantages to the collaborative divorce approach is the fact that it's more amicable. I mean, both sides are actually collaborating and cooperating to bring the marriage to an end, and this is a big advantage, as opposed to litigation that is very where emotions can be inflamed, and it's a adversarial process, and each side ends up very bruised and scarred by the whole approach. And so what happens in litigation is that in the very end, very often two spouses are just very angry and very hostile towards each other. And this has disadvantage in that in the future, if there's a family and there's weddings and there's graduations and there's family gatherings, and the two spouses are really hate each other, this is can cause the children a lot of discomfort, and they're trying to then play a shell game and who's going to get invited and all that kind of stuff. So collaborative divorce is it's a much more amicable approach, and in the end, both sides are usually, there might not be a hug fest at the end, but at the end, there's a very good chance that the two sides are going to get along a lot better than if they had litigated the case. And another advantage is that the spouses are in control. Now the two spouses actually negotiate for themselves, and so they're in control. They really they cannot count on the collaborative attorneys to negotiate for them. It's really up to them to negotiate, but they're in control of the whole divorce, as opposed to litigation, where they're actually bringing in all their information into a law office and turning it in, and then the two lawyers are then negotiating on behalf of their clients, and so it's you're really kind of passing off your future to two people that you don't even really know. And then lastly, another is the fact that the whole process is out of the public eye. So this is done. It's done privately. It just like in mediation, usually done in a law office, in a conference room, and so it's completely out of the public eye and is completely private. One other advantage that I really should mention is the fact that the two each spouse has attorneys with them. It helps mitigate any kind of imbalance of power. Usually there is some sort of imbalance of power. Maybe one spouse is a little more aggressive and the other one's not as aggressive. But although mediators are very good at leveling the playing field, having an attorney sitting right next to you helps even more. So it's a collaborative divorce has that advantage where any kind of imbalance of power is mitigated even more by having collaborative attorneys in the room. There's actually one more point I want to make about collaborative divorce and the advantages of it, and that is the fact that your collaborative attorney, is actually going to be in the meeting with you. So you're able to get real-time legal advice, as opposed to when you're in courtless mediation. The only people in the room are the mediator and the two spouses. So very often a spouse or both spouses will have an attorney maybe for consultation purposes, but that, of course, the attorney's not going to be there in the room. So if they want to get some legal clarification, what they're going to have to do usually is that after the session, they're going to have to call their attorney and discuss the issue. But when you're in collaborative divorce and in a collaborative divorce negotiation session, that attorney's actually sitting right next to you, so you can get legal advice right there while the session is happening. Or maybe you just want to speak privately with your attorney, and you'll leave the room and speak to the attorney that way. So that's an important issue, is you can get legal advice right then and there. What are the disadvantages of collaborative divorce? Well, I would say one of them would be the fact that it will be more expensive than mediation. In mediation, you have one mediator guiding the negotiation sessions, while in collaborative divorce you have two attorneys in the room assisting in the negotiation process. So for that reason, it's almost certain that collaborative divorce would be more expensive. You don't, just because you have attorneys in the room, you don't have the powers of the court. And that's because there has been no suit filed with the court, there's been no paperwork submitted, and so there's no case. So it's not like any attorney can then motion a judge, because actually there's no judge at this point. So there's no subpoenas, there's no depositions, there's no motions to the court, and so that's what makes the process much less expensive. However, if it's needed, you're not going to have it. So the whole process is based on trust and based on honesty. So let's say one side has a business and they don't want to turn over their bank statements or their financial statements. The attorneys don't have the power to force that other spouse to hand it in. There's no subpoena powers, there's nothing like that. So that is a disadvantage of collaborative divorce. Another I would say disadvantage is the fact that the spouses are actually negotiating for themselves. Many spouses certainly are okay with that. They want to negotiate for themselves. But no spouse can go into these sessions thinking that the attorneys are going to negotiate for them. That is not their role. That's not what they do. They provide guidance, they provide legal advice, but they do not negotiate on behalf of their client. If you want somebody to negotiate for you, then you would need to get a litigator. But if you want to do collaborative divorce, you will be doing the negotiation on your own with your attorney next to you, but you'll be doing the actual negotiation. And lastly, there's no guarantee that the process will succeed. There's the collaborative attorneys, of course, are very professional, and they want to see it succeed, and they've signed that participation agreement to see it through. But if the sessions did fall apart, the two attorneys would remove themselves, and the two spouses would then have to hire litigators. So the cost of hiring the collaborative divorce attorneys will in a sense be wasted, because once you go into litigation, you'd be starting from scratch. I hope you found this video helpful and you now have a better understanding of what collaborative divorce is. If you have any more questions, you're welcome to contact me at Michael Heath at info@thecourtlessdivorce.com. That's info@thecourtlessdivorce.com. If you want to ask me a question, I'm glad to try to answer it the best I can. If you want to get a free consultation with a collaborative attorney, no strings attached, you can just contact somebody and get your questions answered. Contact me and ask me for a free consultation, and I'll arrange a free phone conference with a collaborative attorney. It'll be about 15-20 minutes long, but just reach out to me and I'm glad to set that up for you. And if you have even more questions, you could also go to my website, thecourtlessdivorce.com, and or you could buy my book. My book is The Courtless Divorce, and this can be purchased on the website in either a printed book or a downloadable PDF, or you can go to Amazon. And you can purchase it through Amazon as a printed book or as an ebook. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, please click the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.